You've seen the photograph. Early morning, mist sitting low on the fairway, one line of wheel tracks across the wet grass where the mower has already been out. Nobody on the course yet. Just you, a coffee, and 100 acres of grass with your name on the deed. And the demand underneath that photograph is real, which is what makes the fantasy so convincing. Americans played 545 million rounds in 2024, a record, and the fifth straight year above 500 million. Play is running about 21% above the pre-pandemic average. The country is doing that with roughly 2,000 fewer courses than it had at the last peak. More golfers, fewer places to put them. On paper, that is a business you want to own, and it is for sale. Courses change hands more often than people assume. Leisure Investment Properties Group, which brokers them, tracked 114 golf course sales in a single year at an average price of $3.1 million. Priced by the hole, the rule of thumb runs $150,000 to $400,000 each. $3 million buys you 18 holes, a clubhouse, a parking lot, and a maintenance shed. It does not buy you a single mower. Equipping a course is its own purchase. A new private club typically spends more than $2 million getting fully outfitted. Fairway mowers, greens mowers, sprayers, aerators, top dressers, utility vehicles. Most of it is leased, and the leases never end. The average course pays about $56,000 a year in equipment leases, and another $46,000 repairing the machines it is already renting. Replacing them runs $107,000 a year nationally, and $238,000 in the Southwest, where the growing season never really stops. None of that has touched the grass yet. For the grass, the number to know comes from the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America, which surveys its own members and publishes what they spend. Worth saying once, plainly, almost every operating figure in golf is the industry describing itself. There is no audited version. In 2023, the average 18-hole daily fee course spent $683,300 on maintenance. A municipal course spent $711,000. A private club spent $1.4 million. That is 1 year. Not construction, not the mortgage, not the clubhouse. Mowing, watering, feeding and spraying 18 holes for 12 months. The spread is enormous. 5% of 18-hole courses run on under $200,000 a year. 21% spend more than $1.5 million. There is no standard golf course, which is why the association publishing these numbers opens its own report by warning you not to compare courses by budget alone. Across all types, maintenance works out to about 23% of gross revenue. And it only moves one direction. That same daily fee course spent $638,000 in 2022, $683,000 in 2023, and budgeted $725,000 for 2024. Up about 14% in 2 years. 71% of superintendents expected another increase the year after that. 2% expected a decrease. So where does $683,000 go? 59% of it is labor. Fertilizer takes about $52,000 nationwide, fungicides $43,000, fuel and lubricants $31,000. 27% of American courses buy their water rather than pumping it, and the ones that do paid an average of $107,500 in 2023. In the Southwest, 70% buy water, and the bill is $254,000. Per acre of maintained turf, the national average is $8,925 a year. In the north-central states, it is $5,299. In the Southwest, it is $15,428. You are not buying a business. You are buying an irrigated crop that nobody harvests. So zoom all the way in. One golfer, one round. The National Golf Foundation puts the average municipal and daily fee 18-hole round at $41. Public fees are up 27% since 2019, which sounds like pricing power until you set it against what the same 6 years did to the cost of running the place. Now the other half of the fraction. Superintendents report their rounds in bands, and the median course sits between 25 and 35,000 rounds a year. Take the middle, 30,000. $683,300 divided by 30,000 rounds is $22.78. $22.78 of every $41 green fee is grass. That is before anyone unlocks the clubhouse door. The remaining $18.22 has to cover the pro shop, the cart fleet, the starter, the beverage cart, the insurance, the property tax, the marketing, and the loan. So what actually survives all of that? Golf courses trade at roughly 1.25 to 1 and 7/10 times revenue and at 6 to 8 times earnings. Divide the first by the second, and the implied operating margin lands somewhere between 16 and 28%. On a $41 round, that is about $9. $9, and you have not paid the bank yet. Then there is the problem with owning 100 acres of turf, which is that the turf does not know whether anyone came. The mowers run on a wet Tuesday in February with 4 cars in the lot exactly as often as they run on a Saturday in June. 59% of that budget is people, and those people are on the schedule either way. A restaurant with no customers can send the kitchen home. A course with no golfers still has to be mowed, or in about 3 weeks it stops being a course. Which raises a question worth sitting with. If the economics are this tight, why does America have 16,000 golf courses? Because most of them were never built to sell golf. Between the mid-1980s and 2006, American golf supply expanded by 44%, and the National Golf Foundation is direct about what drove it: real estate sales. Almost 5,000 18-hole equivalents went into the ground over those 2 decades, and the course was the amenity. It existed to make the lots around it worth more, and the developer's profit came out of the houses, not out of the green fees. About 3/4 of American courses are open to the public today, roughly 7,600 daily fee facilities and 2,600 municipal ones. Those are the ones you can afford to look at. Once the last lot sold, the course got handed to a membership, a municipality, or a buyer like you. A marketing expense somebody else had already written off, now expected to stand on its own. That is the asset. Not a business that was designed to work. The leftovers of a business that already worked, for somebody else, with an asking price of $3.1 million. So run the survival math. To cover the maintenance budget alone at $41 a round, you need 16,666 rounds. That is 46 rounds every single day of the year, including the days it rains and the days it snows, before $1 reaches the clubhouse, the insurance, or the bank. Take a single salary. The average golf course superintendent now earns $121,238, according to that same association. Divide that by 41, and you get 2,957 rounds. 8 rounds a day, every day, all year, to pay one person, and you will not collect all of them. Analysis across more than 500 courses and 10 million rounds found a no-show rate of 9%. On 30,000 tee times, that is 2,700 slots booked and never used. At the green fee alone, $110,700. The National Golf Foundation also estimates that an occupied tee time is worth about 45% more than the fee once the cart, the range balls, and the drinks are counted, which puts the real figure closer to $160,000. You lost more to people who did not turn up than you paid the person who grows the grass. So who is winning here? Look at what happens when a course fails. Around 90 18-hole equivalents closed in 2023. That was the fewest in nearly 2 decades and under 0.5% of national supply. But over 90% of them were daily fee public courses. Just over half were 9-hole. 3 out of 4 had a peak green fee under $40. The cheap, public, accessible end of the market is the end that dies. And roughly 40% of closed courses were already earmarked for residential or commercial development. The dirt wins. It won when the course was built to sell houses, and it wins again when the golf stops working and the houses come back. The golf operation is the part in the middle, the decades where somebody pays to keep 100 acres green while the land waits for its next use. Since 2006, America has lost about 2,200 18-hole equivalents, roughly 13% of its supply. Some golf does work, resort golf works. Those fees rose 36% since 2019, and more than half of them now sit above $100 a round. Private clubs work because dues arrive whether the member plays or not, and dues are the only money in golf that behaves the way the cost structure behaves. Municipal courses survive because a city can absorb a loss and call it a park. What does not work is the version most people picture. The affordable public 18 at $41 a round, bought by someone who loves the game, funded with debt, against a maintenance bill that rises every year and 100 acres that get mowed whether or not a single car turns into the lot. So what are you actually buying for $3 million? You will not be selling rounds of golf. You will be buying grass at $22.78 a round and hoping somebody drives out to look at it. Which brings it back to the photograph. Early morning, mist sitting low on the fairway, one line of wheel tracks across the wet grass where the mower has already been out. Somebody was paid to drive that mower at 5 in the morning before a single car arrived. Somebody is paid to drive it tomorrow and the day after, and every day the grass keeps growing, which is every day. And now that somebody is you,